Lead meteorologist Jeff Berardelli from our affiliate WPEC in Florida joins me now to discuss these weather conditions. So, Jeff, what are weather conditions like in Southern California? Are they expected to boost these fires, or will there be some relief anytime soon?
Well, I think they're going to boost the fires, at least in the short term, but the short term is at least for the next 48 hours. Then we'll see a little reprieve towards the end of the week. Extreme fire conditions across Southern California. Fire weather warning through Thursday at 6 p.m. and a high wind warning through Friday at 4 p.m. This is what's happening. We have a mid-level low right now in the southern part of California. Now, normally you wouldn't even notice it because it'd be way above your head. But the problem is that wind is interacting with the mountains, and the mountains are pulling all that wind to the surface. So the wind comes down the mountains into the valleys, accelerates, and it dries out. The humidity levels are 5 to 10%. Wind gusts are 50 to 70 plus miles an hour in Southern California on the west side of these mountains right here. So take a look at the wind gusts. During the day on Tuesday, we're talking about those wind gusts today that have been approaching 50, 60 miles an hour in some isolated areas. On Wednesday, notice how the wind picks up again in some of those same areas, but look at Thursday. The winds on Thursday could be gusting once again past 50 miles an hour in some of the same places. There's Oxnard, there's Ventura right there. The strongest winds are still present. And here's one of the problems that we have. Big ridge of high pressure across the west right now. It's actually going to get bigger and stronger, and that means it's going to stay dry. It's going to keep all the stormy weather blocked way out in the Pacific. I think at least for the next 10 plus days, it is going to be warm and dry along the west coast.
Well, the other side of the country, Jeff, is expecting a pretty significant cold snap. What is in store for the East Coast?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a seesaw. The jet stream goes up. What goes up must come down. In the east, we're going to pour lots of cold polar air along the eastern seaboard. Now, this is not going to be Arctic air. It's not going to be record-breaking air. But once it gets to this area right here, it's going to stay put for likely a week, maybe as much as 2 weeks or so. So the first shot of air comes in Tuesday into Wednesday. So that's today into tomorrow. We're going to see winds basically below that northwesterly flow in, and temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees below normal on the eastern seaboard for the remainder of the week. Here we are Friday at 2 p.m. as a storm begins to get brewing along the eastern seaboard. It is cold. These are feels-like temperatures. Sunday, it is still cold, but not extremely bitter cold. It's just very cold across the eastern seaboard all the way down to Florida. Then as we head into next week, it doesn't let up. So this is a prolonged shot of cold air. And here we are next Friday. Notice the Arctic air is trying to make an intrusion from Canada, not just polar air, but Arctic air. And temperatures here in the eastern half of the nation are 15 to 20 degrees below normal.
Well, is there snow on the way? And if so, how much?
Yeah, well, it really depends on where you are. I think a lot of folks in the east are going to see some snow. Some folks will see snow flurries. Others will see a lot of snow. And the heaviest snow is going to be just to the east of the lakes. Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. The lake effect snow machine is going to be cranking up. Some places will see over a foot of snow. That's through Thursday. We're going to see several episodes of lake effect snow at least through next week. At the same time, on Friday, a storm system in the Gulf is going to get going. Now, this is hard to believe, but cold air is going to pour so far south that it could actually mixed with snow and rain as far south as New Orleans on the Gulf Coast. And yes, snowflakes are possible in Birmingham, Atlanta. We could see substantial snow in parts of the Carolinas, Virginia, and maybe southern New Jersey and eastern New England. In fact, it may get close enough to New York or even further north than New York to give you a shovelable snow. We'll have to see about that. But in the meantime, let's check those snow totals. So it's just slushy accumulation, if any, in the deep southeast. But take a look at this bullseye. Now, it may play out differently, but for right now, this is our European model showing 6+ inches of snow in parts of North Carolina, in parts of southeast Virginia, the Delmarva, and southern New Jersey. It is very early in the season for that. And east of the lakes, that's 12 inches plus. Some folks, I think, by next week, will see a few feet of snow in those favorite lake effect bands.
Right, a lot to watch in the days ahead. Jeff Berardelli. Jeff, thanks so much.
You're welcome.